Welcome to the debate. When we think of time in like a sport like basketball, it's absolute. The shot clock hits zero, the buzzer sounds, the play is dead.
Right, it's black and white.
Exactly. But you step onto a football pitch and that precision just vanishes into this subjective twilight zone of stoppage time and delaying the restart. So today, we are examining the newly announced FIFA World Cup 2026 rule changes.
Yeah, and the core question before us is, do these sweeping changes actually maximize playing time and ensure fairness? Or, do they just create convoluted loopholes that fail to address the sport's root issues?
Right, and I take the position that these rules are necessary, evidence-based structural improvement. By implementing visual countdowns for throw-ins and goal kicks, the sport is logically deterring delays and maximizing action.
And I take the opposing view. While the intention is noble, sure, I argue that these measures are just superficial patches. They're selectively punitive, they introduce bizarre tactical vulnerabilities, and honestly, they completely miss the actual root causes of time wasting.
Well, any fan who has watched their team frantically chase a goal in the 89th minute knows the sheer frustration of watching an opponent just, slowly walk off the pitch during a substitution.
Oh, the slow stroll, yeah.
It's maddening. And that viewer frustration is exactly why I consider the new substitution protocol a brilliant structural fix. If a player takes longer than 10 seconds to leave, their replacement has to wait 60 seconds on the sideline. It fundamentally changes the math.
It changes the math by warping the match's competitive balance just to punish a slow walk. Think about the mechanics here. If a player takes 12 seconds to cross the touchline,
which they shouldn't do.
Sure, but if they do, you are forcing their team to play with 10 men for a full minute. In elite football, a one-minute man advantage can completely alter the outcome of a World Cup knockout match. You're creating this absurd tactical vulnerability that simply doesn't fit the crime.
But the severity is exactly the point. The explicit threat of leaving a defense exposed for a full minute solves the behavioral issue before it even happens. Players just won't walk. And, we see that same behavioral logic in the new injury protocol.
The 1-minute assessment rule?
Yeah. If a player goes down and is assessed by a physio, they must leave the field for at least 1 minute. That aggressively targets fake injuries and simulation.
It targets simulation for outfield players, sure, but look at the gaping loophole left behind. Goalkeepers are completely exempt from this rule.
Well, obviously.
No, listen. When a manager needs a tactical timeout to relay instructions, what is the absolute universal go-to method?
The keeper goes down.
Exactly. The goalkeeper suddenly grabs their hamstring and sits down. By exempting them, you're plugging a leaky pipe while leaving the faucet running. The primary exploit remains completely untouched.
Okay, but the goalkeeper exemption is a necessary compromise, though. Forcing a keeper off for a minute means a team either has to burn a substitution or stick a center back in goal.
Right.
Which completely ruins the game's fundamental integrity. By eliminating the 10 outfield players' ability to fake an injury without consequence, you've cut out 90% of the problem. It's a pragmatic leap forward.
I guess my worry is that we are sacrificing the organic flow of the game for the illusion of control. And that perfectly segues into how the sport's lawmakers, IFAB, are expanding VAR.
Right. Allowing the video booth to intervene on second yellow cards and corner kicks.
Yeah. The entire stated mission of these new rules is more football. Yet voluntarily interrupting the game to litigate a corner kick from a booth inherently contradicts that mission. You're asking for more micromanagement.
But IFAB's mandate specifies VAR will only change a corner if it's a glaring error, and it has to be fixed without delaying the restart. We're moving from subjective leniency to objective accuracy. Look at how they've logically updated the DOGSO rule.
Denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity.
Exactly. Previously, if a defender fouled a striker, but an advantage was played and a goal was scored anyway, the defender still faced severe punishment. Now, if the goal is scored, no card is issued for DOGSO.
Because the goal happened.
Right. The underlying logic is that the opportunity wasn't actually denied because a goal was scored. So the philosophy shifts to fixing clear errors seamlessly and removing illogical punishments.
The philosophy behind DOGSO makes sense on paper, but in reality, applying that same seamless logic to corner kicks is an oxymoron. Any communication from the VAR booth to the referee requires a pause.
A very short pause.
It's still a pause. You're introducing a new layer of litigation to every minor deflection at the byline. Punitive timers and expanded video reviews won't stop the dark arts of time wasting. They will simply drive players to invent entirely new delay tactics.
Well, I maintain that establishing rigid visual deterrents like the 60-second substitution penalty objectively improves the sport. By removing the gray areas, we force the game to be played on the pitch rather than on the clock.
And I remain highly skeptical. We are overregulating the margins while blatantly ignoring the core issues like the goalkeeper's get-out-of-jail-free card.
The ultimate test of these frameworks will happen on the pitch. Will the threat of the countdown clock finally bring absolute, undeniable time to the beautiful game?
Or will players just exploit a new shade of gray?
Exactly. We leave it to you, the listener, to evaluate the impact of these changes for yourself.